Chris here, and I'm back with my favorite scooter now. This is a large, expensive scooter. It's the fastest I've reviewed in the channel. It also has the best range, and that's why it is heavy. But the eMove Cruiser here from Voro Motors got an upgrade. It is now slightly better. They've improved upon a few things. So to start with, we now have some hybrid hydraulic brakes. So they still use a cable to get to the caliper, but then there's actually hydraulic fluid in there with a little piston, and that has improved the braking performance. The tires, they are now tubeless, so no more pinch flats. There's no inner tube there at all. And they're slightly wider, higher quality tires as well that they've gone for. They're also using a higher quality algae battery, and this means the range has slightly improved. It's going to be over 100 kilometers, depending of course on your weight and your speed and the terrain. If you've got lots of climbs, then expect a little bit less there.
So getting started is easy. I'll quickly explain the controls. So first we've got the lock here, which is great. So you can remove the key so no one can start it. So you need to simply just turn that. You've got main power here. Now you can't see the voltage readout here in the daylight very well. But with the main controls, you can see this. No problems whatsoever there with it. So I've done already actually 85 kilometers. I've got between 1 and 2 bars. It's often showing just 1 bar left. So my battery's about to run out soon. I should probably charge it, but just for the purposes of this review, so you can see that the range is that claimed up to almost 100, and this is 85 so far. So this is the front brake, and over here we have our rear brake. Now this scooter being a big one, that you can easily fit both of your feet on the deck here, as you can see. Now I've got size 10 US feet, and they fit on here no problem, unlike the little scooters of course, which sometimes it can be a little bit cramped, but the deck of the Cruiser here, very large, which does make it comfortable. So you simply kick off. Now I have the kick off on first for safety, but you can actually disable that, so you just hit the trigger and it will go away straight away. But I find that that's actually a little bit dangerous, so I leave it as is. So you just kick off, and then on the accelerator, you can hear the motor a little. Once it gets going, it's not really loud at all. And I'm up to almost 30-40 kilometers here along the bike lane, but I got to slow down. Of course, there's some people up here, some bikes. But it is very quick, the acceleration on this. Much better than the Xiaomi Mi scooter, for example, that I reviewed. So we also have, just like the original model, the cruise control feature. So if you hold the accelerator in the same position for, I think it is 7 seconds. I'll let go now. That should then lock that into place. The same speed. There we go. It's now going to hold that 12 kilometers. And that is handy for areas you want to just cruise around. And if you're on a long straight stretch or something too as well, you can use that. Now, as soon as you tap the brakes, just like a car, that will disable that cruise control feature. And if you do apply both the brakes at the same time, it will also do some electronic braking from the rear motor. Now the handling of this on the flats is very good. It gives you a lot of confidence, this scooter, because of those wide wheels, air-filled, and the suspension. Now I'm going to do a quick braking test here, so I'm going to brake 1, 2, 3 now. As you can see, it does brake really good, very good brakes, slightly better than the original model now with the hydraulic calipers now that it has. Even though it's got still the cable, the piston itself is using hydraulics. So how does it handle small curbs? So just like the scooter, lift the front wheel up. There's a little bit of clearance here, and that wasn't too much of an issue there for me. Rough road ahead, quite rocky. Suspension does handle that fine, and really you can do a little bit of off-roading, but not too much, considering it's only rear wheel drive and it doesn't have off-road tires. See how it handles this climb here. So this should not be a problem for this scooter, even with my low battery at the moment. Slows down a little, but really good at climbing thanks to that 600 watt motor there.
So I really like the changes that Voro have made to the Cruiser. It's just slightly better than it was the original model, and I don't think you can actually buy the first original release anymore. This one now has all those tweaks. So not only have they improved the tires, they're wider now. They've gone from 2.5 inches to 2.7. They're higher quality tires as well. They're tubeless, but they are still susceptible to punctures, of course. They use some solution like slime anti-puncture solution in each of the tires there, just as a bit of a safeguard there. Now the range is excellent. You can get over 100 kilometers. That's all dependent on, of course, your weight, the terrain, how many climbs you have, and if you're aggressive on the accelerator all the time, then expect a good 20% or so less, maybe 80 or 70 kilometers if you've got a lot of hills around and you're always accelerating at 100%. And you can tweak, of course, too, the acceleration rate, the amount of torque that it will deliver. There is a link of that in the description. It's on Voro's website if you wanted to tweak a few settings with this. So the lighting is very good, but just like the original model, they actually haven't made any improvements to the indicators. So you have that beep from the indicator when it's on, but the lights that are just on the back of the indicators are only, I've just got 2 or 3 LEDs in there, so they're not really that bright. When you have the main lights all on or you're braking, it's a little bit hard to see the indicator. So if you want people to see it, then I think hopefully with the next model they can improve a little bit on that rear lighting. So this is a heavy scooter, I mean really heavy. This is about 20 kilos or so. So lifting this into a car and then very long, so it might not even fit in a lot of small cars having such a big scooter, but it's not a scooter for that. This is a scooter for high speed, for comfort, and for range. It's not like the smaller models that are portable that I've reviewed, but it comes at a cost. It is a lot more expensive. Now we do have the improved braking, of course, too, that I mentioned, but also an IP67 rating now with everything, and that is good to see that they've done that, Voro. So it is overall better, still my favorite. It does still, as I mentioned in my first review of the first model, make all the other scooters I've looked at seem like toys, basically. They seem like little toys because yes, they're smaller, they're not as powerful, but they are very portable there as well. So thank you so much for watching my review of the revised new late 2019 eMove Cruiser here from Voro Motors.